We could do Redneck Riviera.
What is it?
Bad?
Can I pass?
You absolutely cannot. It's required that you now have to drink Redneck. It's
Redneck
the curse.
Riviera.
It's the same thing as like when you see Medusa and she turns you to stone. When you look at Redneck Riviera, you have to drink it. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of This Is My Bourbon Podcast. I'm your host, Perry, and I got Curtis and Swan back with me.
What's up, man?
Hey, hi.
Hey!
Hope everybody's doing better than Curtis is right now.
Car dealerships are awful.
Early tips and bits. Don't get Kelly tires.
Don't get Kelly tires. 1, 2. If you get tires and they don't offer a warranty, ask about the warranty.
Anyway, that's Kurt's night. How are you doing, Swan?
I'm doing great. I've already had a drink. It's been good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been nice. You have to catch up, Kurt.
Yeah, I know. I haven't had dinner yet. I mean, this is going to be... This is dangerous.
Sorry.
Let's go for it.
Let's do it. Flying blind. That's what we start the show off with. I blind the guests with something. They don't know what it is.
It's actually got quite a bit of nose to it, but not like an ethanol-y nose. It's like a rich nose.
Yeah. I was going to say I want to say like 84 proof.
I'm going to go ahead and say it. You're not far off.
Okay.
Yeah, it does smell kind of light, but it's got like a sugariness to it, I would say, on the nose that I kind of enjoy.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like Evan Williams a little bit, like the single barrel.
It doesn't taste like it.
No.
It doesn't taste like Evan
Just
Williams,
on the nose.
Yeah. Woohoo! Peanuts. Peanuts all the way down. But it's funny because the peanuts don't hit me until like middle of the palate.
Yeah,
And then once it goes into the finish, that's where that
it's
starts
like a
showing.
Cajun peanut. At the end is where
Cajun peanut?
like yeah.
Yeah, I see that.
Towards the end is where you got some of that spice. Kind of light on the front, right on the tip of the palate.
I don't mind this though.
No, I kind of like it. It's pretty oily for a lower proof bourbon.
Mm-hmm. This would be a good like hot summer day, sitting out on your back porch, not trying to drink like Elijah Craig barrel proof or anything.
Yeah.
Sipper.
That's intense, man. It's like 90 degrees outside. You're just sipping on some Elijah Craig.
No, you're slamming Elijah Craig's.
Yeah.
Just slamming barrel strength.
Bartender, give me another. Perry, you're on your back porch.
I said,
Give me.
bartender. I just turned into a Lucille from Arrested Development.
Yeah.
Get me a vodka tonic. Mom, it's breakfast and a piece of toast. No, I like this. It's a good pour.
Yeah. It's a little young, but I think it's a little young. I guess I don't know.
Well, it's supposed to be older than the standard offering, or it used to be, but this is Old Crow Reserve.
Oh, okay.
They don't make this anymore.
I saw you get that bottle, but I didn't know it was a liter.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was either until I got it in the mail, and I was like, oh, it's a whole liter. Anyway, this is our good friends Chad and Sarah over at It's Bourbon Night. They love this bottle. It was one of their favorites from the early days.
I could see it being a good intro for somebody.
Yeah, I think
no
so
doubt.
too.
Might be a
It's
little
very
rich.
approachable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But anyway, so we were talking about the age, and it says Old Crow Reserve is aged a full year longer and bottled at a higher proof, which isn't saying a whole lot. I mean, Old Crow is like 80 proof, and I mean, what, 2 to 4 years old, something like that?
Yeah.
So, it's not going to be that much older.
I was almost spot on the proof, though.
Yeah, you really were. 86.
2 points.
So, yeah, not bad at all. Anyway, it's good stuff. Mm-hmm. For sure.
When's that from? Not old enough to have that funk.
It says a 19 on the bottom. It's not from 2019. I'll say that much. I am not finding a laser code, so I'm not sure. I will try to find it and get back with you on that in the future. But you know what we can do? while I'm looking for this, I can ask you guys, what have you been drinking recently?
I've been drinking Wild Turkey 101 and Old Ezra Cask Strength. I had that when I was over here last time.
Yes. So here's a funny story for you. We recorded an episode on Saturday, and it's gonna make it to the Patreon feed because we recorded it after we'd been drinking for most of the day, and it was not
Fun.
No, it was fun. It was fun.
It sounded okay at the time, but looking back on it, I'm like, ooh,
Have you listened to it already?
just
No,
thinking
he's
back
not, he's
on
not
it now.
heard it yet.
Just
okay.
thinking back on it now.
All I can say is, Dustin, I'm sorry. Yeah. So, anyways, we got done with the recording, and Swan looks at me and goes, "What do you have that I can just chug?" He was like, "I'm about to get messed up. What do you have?"
It's like 2 weekends in a row I've just come over and got absolutely sloshed after a podcast.
It was fun though.
Yeah.
It was a good time. But anyway, I pulled out the old Ezra Barrel Proof, the 7-year, and that was Swan's drink of choice for the rest of the night. He got really interested in our cats.
Took a little bird bath, huh?
He did.
Bird bath. I couldn't imagine an
flapped
entire
around in it.
swan inside of a small bird bath.
Kurt, what have you been drinking recently, buddy?
Truthfully, not much,
That's fair.
which is unfortunate. I definitely want to be having more than what I've had. But I've been sticking with the Henry McKenna.
Yeah. That's about it.
Yeah, that's about it, man.
Okay. The reason that Swan and I got drunk on Saturday was because my good friend Dustin came in, and so he always brings good stuff.
And the best chicken tacos.
Oh my gosh, Misty made these unbelievable deep fried chicken tacos. Oh, dude.
They are now, from now on, going to be synonymous with bourbon, and I'm going to miss them.
Yes. I think I might have a couple left over too.
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't need a
Leftover
pair.
tacos from Saturday?
Yeah.
I guess that's all right.
You haven't had dinner. Do you want them?
Maybe later.
Not right now. That's fair enough. Anyway, so Dustin always brings over good stuff. He brought over his 1984 Wild Turkey 8-year 101.
I think it was wild.
It was a Italian export, I believe. So
Think so.
good, man. So good. One of my favorite things that he's brought over. He had a 14-and-a-half-year-old Knob Creek pick called "You're My Boy Blue,"
That's beautiful.
and it had blue as a sticker on the back.
Oh, okay.
It was great. It was a really interesting pick too. Not a very typical Knob Creek single barrel palate. Still good. Still really good. I've had more of those Liquor Barn Elijah Craig picks that I've been harping on recently, the 11-year and the 12-year-old picks. Oh, so good.
What happened with that? Because I never saw any Elijah Craig picks, hardly at all. And then within
it's
like
just
the last
blown up.
6 months,
I don't know, man.
it's just everywhere.
I have no idea.
It's like Knob Creek slowed down, so then every liquor store in the world was like, Elijah Craig.
Need some more Elijah Craig.
Yep. Which I'm fine with.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally fine
Especially for getting 12-year-old picks. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like having Big Red 12 back.
with. Yeah, it is. But like a different Big Red 12 every time you walk in the liquor store.
for sure. But what's cool about those picks that they've just put out, and I originally thought that it was just 9 to 12 years. They picked 5 barrels, at least 5 barrels, from what I understand. Each of them was a different year. So the youngest was 8 and the oldest was 12, and everything in between was in there too.
That's cool.
That was wild. And I kind of feel like it's like a Pokemon card thing. Like I want to collect them
Catch 'em
all.
all.
I want to catch them all. Just so I can see all the different profiles behind them and everything. But anyway, that's about it for me on what I've been drinking. How about we do this episode?
Let's
Heck
go
yeah.
for it.
Okay, so we did something different this week. We're gonna do what are we calling this?
Brown bag episode.
Brown bag whiskey
Paper
Wednesday
bag.
night. Okay, let's just do brown bag. That sounds fine.
Brown paper bag.
Brown paper bag bourbon episode. Yes, that's it. All right, moving on. We're just bringing blind pours for everybody, except for the Redneck Riviera, which Swan is definitely going to be trying here in a little bit.
No.
In which I will be having the Wild Turkey spiced.
Yes, you're both very lucky in that degree.
No, we're not.
So, unfortunately, because of Curtis's evening that he's had, he wasn't able to bring anything. So, the weight of this has fallen on the shoulders of myself and Swan. But really, it's totally fine.
Thanks,
it happens.
guys.
Nah, it happens, man. Don't worry about it. Swan, do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I'll go first. I'm not
Okay.
nervous at all. It's fine.
This
Well,
Redneck Riviera
is it
bottle
staring at you?
It's just staring at me.
Yeah.
I need to try it as well.
No,
Is it
that's
because you
fine.
love the branding?
No, no,
I know it's because you love the branding. Have you seen this?
no. It's
Let me
it's
get you a
just so
close-up look, buddy.
It's so stereotypical. That's what I love about it. Redneck Riviera. What would you think? Work hard, play hard. Let's see what else we can find.
Do you want me to keep this?
I think what we have to
concealed?
do is Curtis and I are just going to have to look away.
Yeah, that's fine.
So,
Just to read the back of this even more. Redneck Riviera whiskey is a full-bodied, delicately smooth spirit perfect for when you are ready to get down. G-I-T. And take a little time to rewind and simplify.
read that. Have you gotten to the point yet of what it consists of? Like what's in there?
Oh, 95% American light whiskey aged 2 years. And 5% American whiskey aged at least 1 year. You couldn't stretch to get it 100% American light whiskey aged 2 years.
No.
We just, the 5% adds a little something.
Maybe it does. Maybe it does. You never know. It's. I'm gonna let you guys try it before I say anything.
I can't wait.
I'm excited for you to try it.
I can wait.
Everything about when you are ready to get down.
GIT down. Let's do this.
Welcome to the Redneck Riviera.
Can we look back now, Swan?
Yeah, does it
Okay,
say get
great.
her done anywhere on here?
No,
No, it
should,
just says
though.
get down.
Oh, that's close enough.
Yeah.
Subtle oak finish. All right.
Subtle. I think subtle might be an overstatement.
All right. I don't even remember. I didn't look at the proof on this one, but that'll be a surprise for me too, I guess. It's been a long time since I've had this.
Okay.
And I've actually had this with Perry. It's been a long time. And when he had it, he did not like it.
Oh boy, you shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, no, I want to see if it's changed at all.
See, but that's why you shouldn't have said it.
I honestly don't even know what this could be. We've had so much over the past couple of years.
There has been multiple expressions of this that you've had, and you've liked all of them except for this one.
The nose is good.
I like the nose a lot.
Yeah.
It's very caramel forward.
Yeah.
Once I start to roll around a little bit with it, I kind of get a like an herbal note.
Yeah.
I'm getting a lot of the grain note too.
Really,
When
it's rye heavy. That's what that is.
when I first had this, I remember it being super, super tobacco heavy, and it's opened up quite a bit. It's kind of changed that herbal thing that you were talking about.
Yeah. There's not really anything like fruity on the nose or like floral. Maybe just a little bit, like just a hair of like a. Gosh, it sounds weird, but kind of like a hydrangea. It's very light. All right, I'm curious.
It's earthy on the palate as well.
Yeah.
Getting like a little bit of soil.
I was
Not
thinking
that
the
that's
same
a-
thing
not
on the
that
front
it's-
end.
It's a bad thing. It's just like it's very rooted in the earth.
But what's funny is that like it kind of has like a grittiness on the front end of the palate. Like I can feel it rubbing against my taste buds.
I'm getting a lot of like
Dark notes.
dark notes,
Dark, earthy,
Earthy.
herbal.
not kind of the savor, like the sweet, savory dark notes like chocolate or dark, black raspberry or any of those. I'm getting a lot of earth.
I am kind of getting like a dark, brittle flavor on the back end of the palate, and I'm not entirely sure what that is.
I actually don't like this that much because it's got so much of like a tea herbal thing going on.
Yeah, it is like herbal tea.
And I don't like tea. So for me, this isn't necessarily my thing. It's kind of like when I get coffee notes on stuff. I'm not a big coffee fan either, so it kind of deters me from it. But
Look, I don't hate this.
no,
I
and
really don't.
Do you have any idea what you think it would be? I'm curious.
Honestly, no. Because seriously, like there have been so many things that you and I have tried together over the past couple of years.
And you said it's a specific release?
Yeah, it's the standard release of something that we've had before. And as soon as I pull it out, Perry's going to be like, what? It just tastes like it's watered down. I know what's going to happen. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pull it out. Perry's face.
I don't
Yeah,
know
let's
what
see.
I don't know what this could be.
Huh.
It's Wathans. It's a
Wathans.
Wathan single barrel.
Yeah.
It's a single
Okay.
barrel. Okay, where's the...
Well, I mean, they're
We have Wathan's barrel proofs. I think we've had 2 or 3 of them,
Yeah.
right? And they've all been kind of similar-ish in profile, kind of the darker notes, a little bit of herbalness. But I feel like the proof has always been the saving grace for this, and this is
Yeah.
not the barrel proof that they've been putting out. This is 47%. So,
94.
yep.
I really don't mind it. I
Yeah.
mean, it again is not my favorite, but I have no problem with drinking this. And it may be that my palate has kind of started to gear itself towards darker notes. And we've talked about this before on the show.
Yeah.
That I gravitate more towards darker flavors now. But when did I say I didn't like this?
I had you over and we tried like 3 or 4 different bottles, and I think you directly said this is my least favorite thing I've had tonight after having 3 or 4 different pours.
But did I say I just straight up don't like it?
No, you said it was your least favorite thing by far.
I could see that being accurate.
Yeah. And I don't know what the other pours were. I just
Sure.
remember thinking, like, this is sat on my shelf because of
BTAC
it.
collection.
Because I was like, this is not.
Exactly. We were drinking BTAC that night.
Oh, God, I wish. No, this is back when I was like, come check out my collection. And I had like 3 bottles.
The other editions of Wathans I've had has a lot of peanut. Like, peanut and nut, like a nutty flavor.
Yeah.
I'm not getting it on this. I don't know if the other one, renditions you've had are, but
I'm actually getting, so I just finished my glass. Now that it's opened up a little bit, I'm actually getting like and it's interesting. It's kind of like a chocolate covered walnut. Maybe a peanut? I think it's a peanut, actually.
okay.
Kind of but it's like a dark chocolate.
I could kind of see that, but it's still just so herbal tea to me that it's like canceling
Yeah.
everything else out.
I totally get that. That was interesting. Thanks for bringing that back out. I don't know when the last time I had straight up Wathans was.
It's been a while for me. I don't think I've had it in a long time because I've had this bottle for going on probably 2 years.
It's pretty solid.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. This was when I first started like looking for bourbon too, and I was like, oh, Elmer T. Lee. And it's definitely not.
Yeah, you sold me that Elmer T. Lee, didn't you? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought so. All right. My turn?
No, my turn.
Get away with that. What is that?
Yeah. Are you serving us
It's
sweet tea?
sweet tea. Yeah. No, it's in a mason jar.
Is that moonshine? It might
Yeah,
be
I
moonshine,
can actually hold
guys.
this up for you to look at it so that I don't... nothing about this will give it away.
I have one question.
Yes.
I have lots of questions.
So, did you receive this bourbon in this bottle, or did you transfer it so we didn't see it?
I will not be taking questions
Oh, gosh.
about the status of the container in which this bourbon is housed.
I'm concerned, but
until-
usually this means it's going to be really good. Perry Stoneface, he's not giving anything away.
I bet it's Redneck Riviera.
Nah, it's not.
Not with the color on it.
Ooh, okay.
Doesn't smell like no Redneck Riviera, does it?
No.
Huh. Does it, Swan?
This is dusty. This has got to be dusty. That or it's like kind of like that warehouse or like the Camp Nelson thing where it like imitates dusty.
Smells like it's dusty.
Yeah, it's got something like that going on for sure.
I just want to hide my mason jar so that it doesn't.
It's
you don't
another
actually-
one that's on the more darker note.
Oh yeah,
This is darker note, but this is like caramel heavy.
there's something kind of savory about it too that I'm picking up.
Like
Kind of.
glazed
like a
ham
gravy.
savory.
I was gonna say kind of like a lightly, not like a super aged country ham, but it's got like a salty ham
Sure.
note to it on the nose.
Please tell me I can find this on the shelf. Still not taking questions. Dang it.
This has to be dusty.
That's good.
I had a little sip of this last night, just because I was curious, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is incredible!"
That is so good.
Yeah,
I have no idea what that is.
It's a profile that I've never had.
I will say this: it is off profile for what I have experienced in this realm before.
What I've experienced in this realm, and then knowing that it's a dusty, it's either got to be pre-fire or wild turkey.
I've had other Dusties,
I know, but like those are
like knowing me.
those are the ones I
That's
know
what
that
you're
you
saying.
can
All right.
designate the profile. I'm sure because
That's
you've got
fair.
quite a few of them.
That's fair.
I'm leaning more towards turkey than pre-fire, but you said it's off profile, so I have no idea. Just guessing. Whatever it is, it's
think
good.
I agree on the turkey
This is the
because I still have a little bit of.
you still feel that turkey pull.
Yeah,
You're like,
I
don't know
turkey
about
pull.
this.
Yeah, exactly. I think that it definitely is a turkey, but it's older, so I'm sitting here going, all right, I can get on board.
this is the cleanest Dusty I have ever tasted. Like, it doesn't have as much funk to it
Yeah,
as I would have expected. And yes, it is a Dusty. I'll just go ahead and and say it. So no, Swan, you cannot get it on the shelf, unfortunately.
Dang it.
if you just like sit and chew on it, it's like having like a Thanksgiving or a Christmas like dinner, like a ham or a turkey. If you just sit and chew on it, it has this like gravy kind of glaze.
This is definitely oily. Because I took a drink of water and I was like, that didn't cut it.
Oh, that really opens it up.
Yeah, that's what
Oh my gosh,
it's like.
that is fantastic.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. You know, like the
The everlasting gobstopper.
Yeah.
Oh no, you're talking about the
four-course
gum.
Yeah, the gum. It's
Changing
like a
gum.
4-course
Yeah,
meal.
yeah. All right.
As long as I don't change into a giant blueberry, I'm cool
You
with it.
will not. I can confirm that will not happen.
Yes.
You ready?
Yeah.
This is a 1980 8-year-old Wild Turkey 101
Hey.
from a decanter.
Oh, okay.
This is a decanter turkey. And I bought this expecting there to be the decanter with it. And this is what I opened. It was this mason jar with 24 ounces of sweet, sweet turkey juice. But let me tell you, I was a little disappointed that I didn't get that big, beautiful turkey decanter along
would
with
be
it.
as well. So, did you ask him about it, or whoever you bought it
No,
off
I
of?
just misread the post.
Oh no.
It was my fault.
Yeah.
I should have paid closer attention.
He said 24 ounces, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. It said juice only, but it's all good. I love it.
It's still really good.
Man, I'm telling you, it really is one of my favorite Dusties. If not my favorite Dusty I think I've ever had. It's just so clean and so approachable.
I think I like that better than the Jim Beam Black that you had.
That 78 black, yeah.
Stop that.
I think it's better, man.
Blasphemer.
I'm still the 78 fan, but we all
Oh,
know
don't get me wrong. I love the 78.
Yeah. This is very good, though.
Yeah, it really is.
I think I liked the 78 a little better because it was had more of those traditional bourbon notes that I was looking for. This one, to me, is very savory, which I think is really good. I think I just prefer
Yeah,
that
I
better.
agree. I just, I want to spend more time with this one. It just... It's so good. It's so dark, too.
It is very dark.
It's darker than... I mean, I've had other 8-year 101s, of course.
Have you seen the Texas whiskey that gets super dark?
Uh-huh.
It looks like that.
Yeah. I can
Just
see
the
that.
color.
Well, mine's gone, so.
Mine is too.
You get you a Perry pour, man.
Oh, great. All right, Swan's just poured us his next blind. Wow, it's really maple syrupy.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's just because it's like that or it's just such a contrast from the wild turkey we just had.
I don't know, man.
I'm getting a little bit more ethanol on this one.
I am too. Maybe cast strength? Or higher proof? I don't know.
Maybe.
Swan's playing coy over there. It's maple syrup and Christmas spices. There's some gingerbread on the nose as well, is what I'm picking up.
I mean, it's for sure cast strength, though.
I'd be surprised if it weren't.
There's a note on here that I feel like would give it away. So I'm going to try to refrain from giving it until afterwards.
Yeah, it's like Christmas spices on the palate, too.
Mm-hmm. And I get a lot more of my note that I was talking about on the palate than the nose.
It's funny. It is kind of savory on the palate as well.
Yeah.
This is almost
It's
like
like a
Christmas
salt-
dinner again, but more of the dessert table.
Yeah.
I'm getting more of a salted caramel.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's picked up on it. I kind of said more of a brininess a little bit.
Okay.
Or like a
Yeah.
So the
Okay.
salted caramel, kind of
okay.
picking up on that
Yeah,
a little
for
bit.
sure.
I'm getting a little bit of the barrel influence, more of that charred.
It does remind me of going on a barrel pick. And when you thieve it, the bourbon right from the barrel. And it's still got the oak chips, the charred oak chips floating around in it and everything. So I totally get that. I'm on board with that.
Ray, you know what it is?
I would love to know what this is, Swan.
Is Jefferson's Ocean Cast Strength
Ooh.
Voyage 10.
I have not
Okay.
had this pour in a while.
Yeah, so that's why I didn't want to give away the brininess, because a lot of people attribute the ocean releases to have some sort of brininess.
Uh-huh.
And then I have to imagine being sloshed around basically in a barrel is going to give you some more of the oak flavor.
Oh, yeah.
So
That all makes really good sense.
yeah. I personally really like this, and I'm not a huge Jefferson's fan. Like the regular stuff, I'm not a big fan of.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
The Twin Oak was good.
I love the twin.
The Chef's Collaboration. Okay, maybe I am a Jefferson's fan. Chef's Collaboration was pretty
Talking
good.
himself into it.
I like some of the finished stuff. Some of it's a little much. I like the
sherry-
Groth cask.
The
Yeah,
what?
the Groth was really
Groth
good.
is really good.
The sherry cask, not so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that overall they have really good product. What batch is this? Or Voyage?
This is Voyage 10. It's
Ah.
one of their cast strength ones, and it's older.
It's always been one of my favorite one of my favorite voyages.
Yeah,
I think
it's-
that's kind of universal.
It's definitely worth picking up. I think this and Voyage 8 were cast strength, and they were both really good. And I actually saw that they do picks of this. Not Voyage 10, but I saw a Voyage 16 pick,
Yeah, I've seen that too.
which is just strange.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just for somebody that's just kind of getting into bourbon, Jefferson's Ocean, how do they do it? What's it near? Just kind of to go
This-
behind
Yeah, this is kind of a
the
point that
story behind Jefferson's Ocean.
Yeah.
I kind of wish we had brought up on the finishing podcast. Would you consider this finishing? Because it's basically what they do is they put it in a barrel and then it sits on a ship and it just goes from coast to coast pretty much?
No, it goes on different scientific voyages.
Yeah. So, because they have like a log on it too, right?
I think so. Or
Which-
if they don't have it on there, you can find it online somewhere. I
Yeah,
believe.
it may have had like a neck tag or something I took off.
Mm-hmm.
But it'll kind of show where it's gone. And I guess the point of it is barrels basically in the warehouse stay stagnant for the most part, unless you're like Maker's Mark, where you tend to rotate the barrels instead of leave them in one part of the warehouse. So it's activating more of the, charred part of the barrel
Yeah.
with the stuff that's inside. Which is kind of a cool concept. They've done it for a lot of them. They're up to voyage like 16 or 17 now.
Yeah.
So, and I think only 2 or 3 of them have been cast strength, and this is definitely one of the ones people point to as the favorite.
Because that, from a branding perspective,
Oh
pretty
yeah,
cool.
it's top notch.
even from a scientific perspective, and just like
Well,
from a bourbon's perspective, it's something different.
So we talked about quite a while ago bourbon gimmicks, and I think that this could potentially fall into the gimmick category, but I think that it's done well enough to where the gimmick aspect of it kind of gets overshadowed. You know what I mean? Like if it came back and it was just this black tar nastiness, that nobody wanted to drink, it would still be considered a gimmick. But I think that it's become synonymous with an aspect of their brand to where the gimmick has just kind of been overshadowed.
And that's Jefferson's as a whole. They're just experimental.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just their thing, which is great. Like I think even some of the newer releases have been weeded.
Yes, they have.
Yeah.
So to your question, though, I do not consider this finished. And the reason really is because it doesn't fit the definition of what a finished product is.
Yeah.
It's not being removed from its original barrel and then rebarreled into another container. So, no, it's not finished. Yes, it could potentially be a gimmick.
It's definitely a lot of effort. Good on them. And they do fetch a price for it because of what they do to it. But I personally think this bottle was worth it. I can't say much for the other voyages because I've only had about 4 of them. Mm-hmm. And I've had this one, Voyage 8. I got to try Voyage 3. And I think I had one of the 16. Somebody did a pick, and they were giving out samples of it at the shop for like $5 or something.
Okay.
And this is definitely my favorite out of all of them that I've had.
Cool. Well, thanks for that one, Swan. That was good.
Yeah, that was
I
good
love
one.
revisiting stuff I haven't had. You've done a good job of bringing stuff back that I haven't had in a while.
Yeah, I've got plenty of old stuff I've not had in a while at my house. I need to just start bringing it on occasion and let you try it.
Yeah, please do. All right, pour number 2 from Old Pear Bear.
I like the color.
I do too. It's kind of golden.
Kind of an amber.
This came straight to the nose. This is wildly different.
Cherries?
Cherries and buttered toast.
Is it a weeder?
Are you asking me if the product itself is a wheated bourbon?
Yeah.
Who's to say?
It's not a lot of rye on it, so I mean,
I'm
it's a
to say.
possibility.
No, it is a lot sweeter on the nose than I would have anticipated.
Yeah.
I did kind of get like a citrusy note on there too. Kind of like
Oh,
lemony.
on the palate, man. That citrus note really happens on the palate.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. This is going to sound real weird. Have you ever gotten one of those cocktails with like the dehydrated oranges?
Oh yeah.
Have you ever bitten into one of those?
Yes.
Just like that.
Yeah,
I
that's
get
what
that.
it is.
Yep.
I totally get
It's like
that.
a mix of lemon and orange.
I'm still
Yeah.
picking up some of the like buttery flavors though. Like there's I don't know why it seems like we all went with like savory notes tonight, but there's kind of a saltiness to it.
I like this.
I like this a lot.
I like this a lot.
I mean,
Other than the turkey, I think this might be my favorite thing we've had tonight.
I'm gonna veto. We'll let it stand.
wait, where do you stand with it though?
Oh, I think it's really good.
Yeah, but
I don't think. No, I was just gonna say that I don't think it's a weeder anymore.
okay.
I just really like citrus, so this is hitting all the marks for me.
Yeah.
The more I get into it, the less citrus I'm actually tasting.
really.
Yeah, I'm starting to get some of the darker, kind of more oaky notes on there as well.
More on the finish is where I get the oak charred barrel influence.
I get that, but I'm still getting a ton of citrus up front. Like it's
Oh,
like
yeah,
the very
I
first
agree.
thing that hits
Yeah.
your palate.
I bought this on a whim. This is only my second bottle of this that I have ever bought.
Buy more.
I can do that. This is Wild Turkey Kentucky Spirit.
What?
Is it a pick?
It's a pick from Liquor Barn.
Okay.
I never buy these, and I don't know why.
So, I love American Spirit picks, or American Spirit single barrels in general, because they are basically single barrel versions of Wild Turkey 101. And I think that this one is really indicative of that, where like there are some of the Wild Turkey notes that you kind of pick up on. There's a little bit of the rice spice. There's some cinnamon to it as well. But I don't ever really get citrus on the standard offering of Turkey 101.
But on this one, I definitely
But on this
got
one,
citrus,
it's definitely there.
No, it's like the almond butter has taken a push to the side, and
I don't get it at all.
citrus has shown up.
I don't get any nuttiness.
This is like almost a wild turkey cocktail.
It really
Yeah.
is.
It's
I'm not
kinda
getting
strange.
like that odd pull too.
Yeah.
That odd bitterness.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, why the citrus separates it from that.
Yeah. Sidebar.
I'm glad I vetoed my weeder.
I'm glad you did too, because it definitely wasn't a weeded product. Sidebar though. Do you guys like the new packaging for Wild Turkey
No.
American Spirit?
Trash.
I don't understand why they went with the bronze. None of their other packaging has that. Standalone, it looks fine, but if you look at the rest of their lineup, it doesn't have that.
So
It's the label.
It's grown on me. I like it more, but it doesn't have the iconic status that the feathered, like the turkey feathers
I
had.
don't even care about the bottle. I'm just meaning the bronze label.
Yeah.
Take the bronze label off, I'd probably buy it more than that.
If it weren't the bronze label and it were the color of the cream around the actual information label,
Sure.
would you like it better?
Forget
'Cause
that.
I think I would.
I
Take
probably would.
I
Take
think-
the bronze off and just make like a white on the glass. I feel like I'd like that
I
almost.
could see that. They don't really do a whole lot of on bottle printing.
Yeah.
No.
But I mean, if they went with this cream color as the base of the label and used the red from their branding for the text and some of the accents,
Yes.
I think that would actually be a lot more interesting. I think the bronze is just kind of out of place.
I agree. I think my problem with the bronze label is that it looks like DIY. It looks like homemade. Like I bought bronze paper. Like
I see that.
I bought bronze labels and was like, hey, there we go.
That bottle also kind of looks weird without a neck tag. I don't know what it is.
I'm all right with the bottle. I understand that they
Yeah.
went to that bottle because
It's the rare breed bottle.
it's the rare breed bottle. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I'm not even I'm not hating on the bottle. I'm just meaning like that bronze label.
yeah, I really don't mind the bottle shape at all. I know that some people have had issues with it, but I think that this one in particular, I like the ergonomic feel of it. I mean, it's a lot easier to hold than the old bottle was.
Yeah, yeah.
Apparently they were having trouble with just
Breaking.
It's just breaking, yeah.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that they went to the new bottle shape, but in terms of the new branding, yeah, I'm iffy.
Just update that label.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm fine with everything else. Just update that label.
And it also doesn't help that like Wild Turkey is one of those brands that they could never change and I'd be okay with it.
Yeah,
For me, it's just like Maker's Mark. I
It's-
never could think of anything Maker's Mark could do to make that packaging look better.
you know, I said for a long time, and I mean, for crying out loud, my senior project was redesigning Wild Turkey.
Mm-hmm.
If they stuck with what they have right now, I'd be okay with it.
Yeah.
But that being said, I mean, I want more people to be drawn to their packaging, to be drawn to the label. So if they get with the times, that wouldn't be in their worst interest.
No, it wouldn't be. But I also want it to be like the well-kept secret. Like Henry
Yeah.
McKinnon was just ugly.
Yeah.
It still is. And I love
I actually
it.
like Henry McKinnon.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't mind it.
The tax
that
stamp
much.
on it is just overkill for me. Looks like fake printed money.
Okay, I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Plus, it's green, and it's typically a rye thing.
That's true.
Think about that.
All right. I got one more pour.
All right, man.
I hope you guys are ready for this one.
I got a heck of a suicide bottle going.
You taking this all home with you?
Yeah, believe it or not, and the podcast listeners may know this, Perry pours a little bit heavy. It's a shocker. But it leaves you with a nice little suicide glass at the end.
If only there were a term for that.
I don't know about that, champ.
All right. So my lovely wife, Lucy, brought this bottle up for me earlier. This is not Old Granddad 114.
It is the cloudiest old Granddad 114 I've ever seen.
This is dusty.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say it.
This
It's
is
dusty.
definitely dusty.
Yeah. I mean,
This is more of like the stereotypical nose from the Dusty. The last one had it for sure, but this is like in
This
your
is that
face.
funk.
Yeah.
I could get lost in the nose on this.
Dust Bunny for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know what you just poured, but I thank you.
But I'm here for it.
Yeah.
This is weird.
It's rich.
It's really rich, but it's not very often. I've had a few drinks and I get another drink that gives you that initial like tingle you get from your first drink, and I just got it with this.
Yep. This is
That's special.
one of my
Wow.
favorite things I've ever had. Honest to goodness.
I was about to
Hand
say,
to God. I mean,
this might be one of the best things I've ever had.
I honestly, I think I'm going to agree with you.
This might be the best. This. It might be the best thing I've had.
Period? Curtis.
I guess.
Wow. Look, man, when you know, you know. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, one of my top ones is just a weird bourbon for me. Like I never buy it, but the Dusty version of it I love, and it's that Fighting Cock.
Yeah.
It's still one of my favorites.
It sits there for you.
I would put it up next to the B-Tac.
It sits there for you
It's
anytime
nuts.
you're here. I'm telling you, man. This
like
this is like
I'm
an
getting
orange cream soda.
Orange cream soda. I even on the back of the palate, I'm getting more of like a smoke, like a smoky flavor.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I think it's it surprisingly for me is kind of rye heavy. Like I get the spiciness of it. I get the darker notes of it as well. Man, this is so good.
Oh my god!
Curtis's entire world just got flipped upside down, and I love it.
I don't know if it's-
I'm here for it all day long.
I don't know if it's the best thing I've had, but it's up there.
But it might be your favorite thing.
I think it's second or third. Second, definitely.
What's it behind?
Probably that George C. Stagg that we just had.
Last year's Stag?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
With-
you're saying that last year's Stag is better than 2017's William LaRue Weller?
In my opinion. Yeah.
Okay, fair. No, that's fine.
They're very
I'm just
similar.
trying to make sure
I
that
think
we're on the same page.
I think these three are just like they're on an
Top
upper.
notch.
They're on upper echelon. These three are interchangeable.
I
don't
think that's
think
fair.
I can.
I think that's fair.
I just love that there's a sentimental value with that bottle, and the way that I found it was just the dumbest thing. I walked into a drive-through liquor store, and she's like, "Hey, honey, we got your name on this list. I got you a WLW if you want it." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll take it."
I didn't know that story.
Yeah. And
Oh
so,
my
like,
God.
and this
I
just
didn't know it either.
there was just a bunch of people in line with like 30 packs of Budweiser, and I'm just standing there like, yeah, sure, I'll take it. And I paid like $105.99 for it, and I took it home.
I just remember it was literally like the third episode, and we're just like,
Oh, I think it was the second episode.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We sat there and
That's
just,
amazing.
and just said, yeah.
This is great. What are we doing? Is this the future of the podcast? I guess so.
You got to start somewhere.
All right. Curtis, do you want to know what this is?
I know. I have a feeling it's probably like turkey something, but go ahead.
It's not turkey.
Okay, good.
This is a 1979 Jim Beam 100-month-old 80 proof decanter. The decanter itself is sitting up there. 100 months is roughly about 8.5 years. Even at 8.5, like 80 proof is just right. Like this is good.
We made you drink enough turkey. If you want the rest of mine, you go for it.
Curtis, I would be willing to give you another full pour of this too.
This is special.
I agree, man. So we were talking about how this is a little cloudy. This did come from a lead decanter. And I haven't had the time to like fully filter it. Okay. So I don't know if it's going to work or not, but I'm going to try to stick it in my fridge and do a poor man's chill filtering. Because, I mean, it could maybe get some of the sediment out, right? But yeah, it's a little cloudy.
So, say that again. What was it? Lead?
Yeah, it's a lead decanter.
I don't know how I feel about that. But it's really good.
Lead paint.
Which does would that
Curtis,
matter?
you can totally have another pour of it if you want.
Would that matter? I don't know.
In small doses, no. But if like all you drank was bourbon from a lead decanter, that would be a problem. I mean,
Yeah.
you'd be broke, but no, you'd be fine.
Yeah.
Honestly,
From a health standpoint.
you would be fine.
All right.
I mean,
We're
they
good.
used to have uranium glasses too. That was the thing. They have like green glowing uranium glasses.
Yeah.
Huh.
So, I mean, the 40s was wild, man.
They really got
Lead paint, asbestos, uranium glasses.
they really got wild, didn't they?
Well, that's all the blind pours I have for this brown bag episode. I have a proposition.
What's that?
What if we reviewed Redneck Riviera?
I'm about it.
Let's do it. Because we've had so much good stuff, and this is not good enough to like be had first or last or anywhere in between. I just want. I figured that this would be something fun for us to review.
Or terrible.
I wouldn't be getting lead, though. Right?
You're really concerned about this lead, man.
I am.
You're really. I promise you're okay.
Yeah. Okay.
The small amount that you had. I mean, you had an ounce of that.
Well, sure.
Ounce and a half. There is not enough.
But it wouldn't affect the bourbon in any way, you don't think?
Other than like making it cloudier, I don't think so.
Yeah. I mean, what do you guys think comparatively with this?
What do you mean? Like out of everything we had,
Yeah, just
or in
mean, like,
general
I'm putting this in my top 3.
of all time? I think I would put it in. I would put it in my top 10. Maybe my top 5, but I think I would put it in my top 10
Okay.
at the absolute least.
Yeah. With that being said, you've had a lot more than I've had.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd put it like top 15 probably.
Mm-hmm.
There's just, I don't know. There is some newer bourbons I really like. Like Bellmead Cask Strength is just up there for me. It's just solid.
Gotcha.
But, oh, I've got some.
Okay, Swan's already poured the Redneck Riviera. Where's the cap? Doesn't matter.
Pour it out.
Who cares? No, I mean, we'll give it a fair shot. I mean, I don't want to.
Should.
Yeah.
Have you had this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So my first sip of this was through a straw, a la Cletus Knows Whiskey. So again, 95% American light whiskey, aged 2 years. 5% American whiskey, right? Aged at least 1 year. Look, it doesn't smell that bad. It's just light.
It's light. It's not bourbon. It's not like
It's
bourbon.
definitely not bourbon.
So
It's not bourbon.
I'll read
nose.
You would be wrong
Yeah.
if you called this bourbon.
I'll read the slight description. It's on the front. A small batch whiskey with vanilla honey smoothness and subtle oak finish. They hit the nail on the head. That's exactly what it is.
I get the honey.
I do
Emphasis
too.
on
There's
subtle.
a lot of honey.
Vanilla as well.
It's borderline like a almost like a flavored whiskey. At least on the nose.
A little
Yeah.
bit, just not as strong.
Yeah.
This might be bad to say. It smells like a foot. I don't even know if I want to try it.
How does 80 proof hurt so much?
It doesn't burn. It just tastes bad. It tastes like a foot.
Look at his face.
It's a foot.
This is a serious podcast that we take very seriously. Oh, man.
Seriously, though.
It's not
It's
good.
like a foot.
If I'm going to compare it, though, let's do this. If I was going to compare it to like Kentucky Gentleman or Kentucky Tavern,
This is better.
this is better.
It really is.
And it's roughly in the same price range.
Okay.
Kinda, right?
Let's hold on. If we're talking about like good ish,
Nope, I don't think. Take a second drink.
Curtis changed his mind. If we're talking about like good ish cheap whiskeys, I might put Kentucky Tavern over this. But I haven't had my second sip yet.
And just being from Kentucky, though,
You'll
knowing I
put
can
it
get a
over top.
bottle of JTS Brown for
You'll
the
put
same
Kentucky
price.
Tavern over that.
I put Kentucky Tavern over it.
Thank you.
You can get JTS Brown for the same price.
In a 750 nonetheless.
Yeah.
Oh man. The way this
Seriously,
like
though, let's. All right. Each person go around the room and depict depict the notes.
Can I just depict the face that I had?
No,
sweaty corn chips.
I think we really need to sit here and go and think about it. Of what are the notes we are specifically having?
It tastes like
Not good.
it tastes bad. It tastes like corn chip whiskey. Like I just get this overwhelming flavor of corn chips that are real stale, but were bad originally. Like they weren't made with high quality products. There's a little bit of like a floral note to it, which I guess is kind of redeeming, but it's just not. It's not enough for me to make me want to drink this whiskey.
It seriously just tastes like bad new make with 2 drops of like vanilla extract and 2 drops of honey.
That's what it is. Yeah. It tastes like flavored whiskey.
Yeah.
Or a flavored white
like-
dog.
But so
Worse-
lightly
but worse than
flavored that it's not masking anything. It's like they wanted to say, I want people to have notes of stuff instead of overwhelming whatever. And obviously it's working because it's killing 2 of the other people on this podcast right now.
I think the notes.
Yes, give us your notes. I finished mine because I just couldn't have that in my glass anymore.
You want some suicide to get rid of it?
No. Did you put some of that in there?
No. This is all good stuff.
Oh, okay.
Minus the 2 dusties.
It's like
That's a palate cleanser right there.
Yeah, you go to
It's
town
like-
on that, buddy.
It's no good.
It's no good.
It's no
But
good, man.
The notes I would specifically give, I think you hit it right on the head with the base of it is a corn chip. And then it's like you put 2 drops of honey on it, but then you let it sit there with like some hummus.
You let it sit there, you let it soak in,
And
and then
it
you
got
let it get
moldy.
stale because you forgot about
And
it.
then it got moldy.
And it definitely got moldy.
And it said,
This is so specific and so gross.
this is really gross.
I
And then
don't know.
it's like if you smelled a foot, you would be so put off by that. It's really not good.
If You Smelled a Foot by Dr. Seuss.
Give me the bottle again.
From now on, I'm not buying anything that spells GIT as G-I-T
Thank
anywhere
you.
on the bottle.
Yeah. Redneck Riviera. Work hard, play hard. When you are ready to get down. And that's about right. That's what you feel like. That's what...
I don't feel ready to get down. I want to chuck this bottle out the window. And
I don't think I'm ready to get any of that down. It's disgusting.
It's real bad. I don't see myself scoring this anywhere above a
No.
5.
If you ever have to literally go a small batch whiskey with vanilla honey smoothness and a subtle oak finish, if you need to describe that, you shouldn't be making this.
All right, let's score it. Oh,
Yeah, let's score it. Get this over.
that was a big flash of lightning. Sorry.
Yeah, so what's your nose?
0.5.
0.5. I think that was the most redeeming thing about it. Because it's like
I'm gonna, yeah.
you get vanilla and you get honey and you get some sort of floral note and you're
Yes.
like,
Yeah, but it's all counteracted by the horrible footnote.
yeah.
I will
or
give
corn
it
chip
a
note?
1.
Okay.
I'll bump it up to a 1.
Okay.
The nose is...
It is a nose.
Could you just imagine filling a tennis shoe full of corn chips? That's it.
It's like a van full of chips. Full of corn chip. It's
like one of the
some-
old ones with shag carpeting.
Yes.
Oh man. Okay.
Oh, you were thinking an actual van.
He was talking about vans.
I was talking about
Oh.
vans.
Oh yeah, like what I'm wearing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
they're
I'm
smelly.
I'm meaning like a I know this is gonna get real specific. I'm thinking like a Bob Burnquist van that he used in the X Games.
Jeez.
I just imagine the A-Team van just full of corn chips.
Uh-huh.
True that too.
Wall to wall shag. Yeah. Palate though. It's a 0.
0.
It's a 0, yeah, for sure. But you know, that's the thing. They're not going for perfection here. This is literally just meant. This is
If this isn't for people who are just looking to go to the lake for Memorial Day weekend or
I don't even
Labor
think
Day
that,
weekend, and they're just no. I'm not talking about the good lake people. I'm talking about the trashy lake people.
Okay.
No, this
they
is
just
for
wanna
people that want to
go-
make a like bourbon and Coke and then make it half and half. Which there's nothing wrong with. I mean, if that's your thing. But just don't think, you know what's great? Half Woodford and half Coke. Like they're gonna go get Texas Riviera.
Don't waste that, Pappy Jr.
Redneck Riviera.
There you go.
Finish is non-existent.
0.
0.
0.
Price $15 for a pint.
For a pint?
For a pint.
0.
I'm gonna give it a 2.
I'm gonna give it a 1. So a whopping 1.5 from me.
Give it a 2.5.
Yeah, I'll bump it up to a 1.
Ah, jeez.
This is the worst
It's really bad.
review we've ever had.
Is it worse than Benchmark?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
By far.
Benchmark gives me a headache.
Me too.
And this just it doesn't give me a headache, but I'd rather take the headache.
Does it make you want to fight somebody? Because I kind of want to.
You ever seen those videos of like geese and swan just chasing children around the park? Makes me want to do that.
Who signed this? Who
John Rich?
Who put their approval on this?
John Rich did.
Who's that?
I don't know.
We've got some questions for you, John Rich.
Don't buy Redneck Riviera. It's really bad. Spend your money elsewhere. If you can get it for $14.99 for a pint, go buy a bottle of JTS Brown or something else.
I guess if you
Evan Williams bottled them behind.
Yeah. If you really want to try, like, if you want
No,
to hit
you
the
don't.
bar-
Why would you really want to try this?
if you really would want something like just terrible, just to be like have the lowest of the low, this is where you go.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I did buy it because I was curious.
There's so much you can get it's way better for better price.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, there's some stores you can go get Wild Turkey 101 for $16.99
exactly.
with a coupon.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd rather do that, pay the extra $2.
This is bad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I wanted you guys to know.
Thank you.
I wanted you to
welcome.
experience pain with me.
You know what I really hope? There is a laser code on the front, and I hope that in 30, 40 years, people are hunting down these laser codes and collecting them. Because, I mean, people didn't like turkey 30 years ago. You know?
I guess,
and I mean,
man.
like, we're hunting down laser codes now. I mean, wouldn't it be funny, though, if in some weird form of America, people are looking for a specific laser code of Redneck Riviera?
It would be very,
I can't even get through the
very
sentence without
ironic.
laughing.
I think here's the
jeez.
problem. When you look at what's the contents, 95% light whiskey aged 2 years and 5% aged 1 year.
No,
There's
but
your
that's the thing
difference.
is like Stave and Barrel in Frankfurt aged
Right.
a minimum of 6 months. I'd take that over this any day. Even at triple the price.
What do we even give
guess.
that?
I mean, I gave it a 2.5
1.5.
out of 20. Maybe a 2. I don't know.
You
Part
give
of
it
me
a
wants to give it a
1.5.
0. But
I think I give it a 1
I think
or a 1.5.
you give it a 1.5.
You just want to get drunk and fight people? Redneck Riviera.
All right. Moving on. I'm sorry about that. Let's try to go out on a positive note.
Yeah.
We have a recommendation segment. It's called Tips and Bits, where if we've been enjoying something recently, we recommend it to you. So, do you guys have any tips and bits this week?
I got you. I'll start off. Do you guys read Stephen King at all?
Unfortunately, no, I do not.
I do not.
Well, some of his stuff I'm not too big of a fan of because he's very wordy, like almost excessively so in some books. And this book's no different. But like 11/22/63 is a book that he wrote a while ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's just a really strange concept.
It's
where
a Hulu series now.
Yeah, that's what I was going to recommend. Is the Hulu series.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah, and so the book is really good, and the Hulu series stays pretty true to it. It's not too bad. They definitely cut out a lot of the crap because, like I said, Stephen King is very wordy,
Yeah.
especially in this book, but it is very good content. It's about an English teacher that ends up going into a bar and finds out if he goes into the storage closet, it takes him back to, like, 1962. And then you can go back into the same area, and it brings you right back to present day.
Sounds
And
like weird Narnia.
Yeah, and no matter how many times you go there, every time you come back, it's only been 2 minutes
I
in
wish
the
you
real
could
world.
do that with bourbon.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Could you
But-
imagine? Like that 78 we just had?
Go back and get 62.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Beautiful.
Makes me sad.
I know, right?
I want to do that.
yeah, and they put a lot of emphasis on, well, can you stop the Kennedy assassination
Yeah.
when you go back? And the whole thing is just wild because it kind of gets into the butterfly effect aspect of things and just telling you not to mess with the past, and it's just kind of interesting. It's really cool. I'd recommend watching it. It's one of those like TV show movies almost, where it's 8 episodes of 50 minutes apiece, and you sit down and you watch it, and it's 8 episodes and you're done.
Yeah.
And it's really good.
For mine, I would say the Tim Ferriss podcast.
Interesting.
Have you heard of it?
No.
Okay. So the Tim Ferriss... Interesting. I have no idea. All right. So the Tim Ferriss podcast, he specifically interviews like high performance, celebrity kind of people in terms of what their routine is. He also interviews like how they do it, specifics on how those things are. So it's like really a lot of like just self-improvement kind of stuff. And I've been listening to him lately, and that's been really, really kind of awesome and it's anything and everything, like from wealth to motivation to literally everything, just self-improvement. He has a lot of good interviews with different people on that kind of thing.
I saw Aladdin last week.
How was Will Smith?
Really good.
Okay.
If you go into it without the expectations of, the genie has to be Robin Williams,
Or Shaq.
it is well worth your time. I mean, really, it is a beautifully choreographed and videographed movie. I think that it is really enjoyable. There were a couple points where I was kind of like, all right, like, let's just move on. But I found myself smiling during it and really enjoying it more than I expected to. And maybe it has something to do with the 90s nostalgia and everything. It's not like it's without its flaws. I mean, it has certain bits where I'm left going, this could be better or worse or whatever, but I think that it's overall a really enjoyable movie. I can tell you something I'm not going to recommend, though. I have this feeling like the new X-Men movie, Dark Phoenix, is going to be terrible. I don't think that they're going to do a good job with that movie at all. It looks atrocious. The plot sounds atrocious. If you've looked up like how they've had to go back and reshoot and rewrite certain parts of it, there's no way that movie's going to succeed. I mean, we're recording on what?
The 5th.
June 5th, 2019. It's got a 17% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Not good.
That can't be good. So, anyway.
It sucks that Deadpool did X-Men better than X-Men.
Yeah.
X-Men.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Curtis, how did you like the Game of Thrones finale?
I was okay with it.
That sounds pretty universal.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. I mean, so I had a few people that were saying, like, this is terrible. This is, like, how dare they? I think what they did was there's no possible way of keeping to everyone's expectations. So I think ultimately
not.
The season itself, and I think the actors themselves and the studio, all of those kind of things, they were just ready to be done with the series. They've been doing this for how many years? Like 10?
10.
Yeah.
10 years. Yeah.
So they've been doing this for 10 years, and I think it's not a testament to how the show is ended. It's just a testament of everybody was like really exhausted.
Yeah.
With putting this high quality show up. So I think the ending was, pretty good in that sense. They catered to, the fan that has been watching this forever. They catered to the fan of I think it was just an even ending. Like, you can't be super mad about it, but you can't be super thrilled about it.
Sure.
How do you end a once in a lifetime kind of series?
Sure. Yeah.
You do it in the middle and hope everyone's like okay with it.
Well, that was Kurt's hot take on Game of Thrones.
I mean, what do you think?
I didn't really follow it all the way through, but I know how it ended. Mm-hmm. It's not that I thought that it was disappointing because I didn't follow it in the way that a lot of people did.
Yeah.
But I was left going, why?
Yeah.
You
It was
know,
rushed.
and yeah, exactly. I mean, they're giving they've been given 6 episodes, each an hour and a half. So you're basically given 6 movies to rush through the end of a story.
Yeah.
And in this case, they definitely rushed through it. And with my very limited knowledge of Game of Thrones, none of it made sense. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I understand the characters. I understand their motivations. I understand why they do what they do. But by the time it got to the last 2 or 3 episodes, I was going, this makes no sense.
Yeah. I agree.
Like, Danny would never do that.
Do what?
Well, I don't want to spoil anything, but
Torch the entire city?
yeah, I don't. Why would she do? It was
She
just
would
this
definitely do
quick
that.
descent into madness.
She definitely would do that.
There's no. She did not
Throughout-
seem so crazy leading up to it.
Throughout the entire series, she was constantly battling her inner like demon. She was like,
Right.
"Oh, do I do this? Do I not do this?"
But I have one important
I'm
question. I have one important question.
Yeah.
Why did Jon Snow not pet his dog?
Good question. He did at the end.
And that's where I'm gonna leave
Yeah.
that conversation on Game of Thrones, which I am not qualified to have a conversation on by
didn't-
any means.
I didn't
was-
watch any of it.
I will say it was definitely rushed.
I think that's how everybody feels.
The problem is they spent 7 seasons of character development.
Yeah.
And then the 8th season, HBO, the studio, everything, they decided this is the last season. And they said, oh no,
Yeah, get it done with. Yeah.
we got to get it done.
Yeah, I agree.
So I don't think you can leave the legacy of Game of Thrones on those last 3 episodes. You got to look back and say,
Sure.
wow, this
That's
is
fair.
an amazing series.
That's fair. Yeah. Well, that does it for Tips and Bits. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. It was a lot of fun, even though we subjected ourselves to immense horror and torture in the form of Redneck Riviera. If you would like to follow any of us on social media, guys, where can they do that?
On Instagram, you can find me at KurtCon. On Twitter, Kurt_Con15.
And I'm at My Bourbon Finder on Instagram, and soon other things, hopefully.
We keep talking about that, but it's gonna
I know,
happen.
man.
It's gonna happen. If you would like to follow up with me, I am at PRaider1492 on all social media channels. If you would like to follow the show, it is at My Bourbon Pod on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can send us a question or comment to thisismybourbonshop@gmail.com. We always love hearing from our listeners, so please do that for sure. Bourbonshop.threadless.com is where you can find all of our apparel and merch. We're probably going to have we're definitely going to be having a sale coming up here soon. So stay tuned for that. More about that on social media, of course, and the podcast as well. If you have not done so already, join our Facebook group. Just search This Is My Bourbon group, and you can become a part of that. It's all just for listeners and fans of the show. We would love to have you in on that. Give us a 5-star rate and review on iTunes. That really does help other people find the show and get people listening to what we really do enjoy doing every single week. This is my favorite part of my week, is getting to do this podcast and record it and make it something special for you all. So the more people who get to hear that, the better. So please, please, please do share it around. And then finally, Patreon.com/MyBourbonPodcast is where you can become a patron of the show for as little as $1 a month. It really does help us out. We are getting ready to revamp some of our tiers in terms of what are the benefits that you get by pledging a certain amount of money each month. So stay tuned for that. Exclusive content coming to particular tiers. So, yes. Again, no pressure, as always, to be a patron of the show, but it definitely does help us out. So one more time, patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast if you would like to donate to the show every single month. I think that about does it for us this week. Thank you all so much for listening. Curtis and Swan, have a good rest of your week. Thank you all for being on.
You too, man.
Hey, thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. We will see you next week, but until then, I'm Barry.
I'm Curtis.
And I'm Swan.
And this is My Bourbon Podcast.